Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Aberlour's latest live stream. Today, I'm joined by my colleague Wendy. Hello, Wendy.
Hi there, Corinne.
And for anyone that's new to Aberlour that's watching, we are a children's charity who support children and their families all across Scotland, and we're committed to fighting poverty and discrimination. So Wendy is the Assistant Service Manager of our service in Perth Kinross. So thank you so much for being with us today. And I know you're just back from your holiday, so a great day to come back. Can you explain to people watching what support your service provides or what your service does within Perth Kinross?
Yeah, so our service provide early intervention. So with that, what we're aiming to do is to support children, young people and their families really early onset. And that is just to help them, give them some support, some advice, some guidance, and potentially for some of the young people's, so that they're not spiraling out of control. Yeah, so that's what we're aiming to do.
Lovely, lovely. So if anyone has any questions for Wendy, can you pop them in the chat bar and we'll get through as many as we can. So Wendy, you mentioned early intervention there. Aberlour will talk about how we like to have as many early intervention services to get there as early as possible, but can you explain to people what that actually means?
Yeah, it's just going in, building up relationships with the children, with their families, identifying some supports that they would need, asking the family what they feel that they need so that they're also included, that they've also got a voice and that they're part of the journey that we go on with them. And, the earlier that we can get in there to support these families, the better, because potentially, if not, it could lead to poorer outcomes or for these families to be hitting crisis points.
Yeah, this is quite scary for them. What can you give examples of situations that our team would be asked to come in and help a family, just to give people an idea of when you'd come in to help?
Yeah, well, our referrals, the only way you can refer into our service in Perth is through social work. So social work would then contact us, they would refer us, make a referral, refer a family in. So that's how they're referred into the service. And it can be for various reasons. It could be that some families, they require the parenting to be upskilled. And what we mean by that is for some parents, they may need some help and support to put in some routines, some boundaries, some visuals, to help them along the way. There's all various different reasons of why some families are referred into the service.
Okay. And why is it important that families get that support as early as possible?
It's really important that they have the support as early as they can. It's really important for the young people so that, from the early years right through their teens into adulthood, that these children have got positive advice, guidance, and it actually helps and supports them into adulthood.
Yeah. So we talk about a lot, and you mentioned there about tailoring the support to each family's individual needs. So again, that might be like jargony. So what does that actually mean, and how does that impact the support that your team give?
I think it's really important when we're going out to the families that we listen to the families. We ask them what they feel that they need in terms of support. Also, when we're in there, we're observing, and we can at times identify supports that might be beneficial for these families. And it's about having that good relationship, about being able to openly discuss with the families, do you think that you'd benefit from this, or you think you'd benefit from this type of support? And then, working together so that that support is getting provided to make effective change.
Yeah. I guess that's important for them to know that they're in charge of it, really, aren't they? Then they're driving it. It's not you coming in and telling them what to do.
Definitely, definitely. And I think it's really important that these families as well that are referred into the service, that they are inclusive of the support, and that they've got a voice throughout this as well, and that they feel that they're being listened to.
Mhm. And I guess is there maybe other places they don't feel like that? Is that what makes Aberlour a bit different?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Just giving them that voice, being able to speak out, build up their confidence. I think it's really, really important. And just, to see a family take on board like advice and guidance that you're providing
Mm.
and to see them flourish is really important.
Yeah, so what kind of like activities would you do with the families or support would you do? I know you mentioned like showing obviously pictures and things. You said like how to do things. What other things would you do?
Yeah, we can make visuals so that can
Visuals.
support, yeah, we can make visuals to support things like morning routines. We can make them interactive so that the children or young people can actually physically go up to the routine chart and move things
Mhm.
around so that they're interacting. That could be done for like mornings, evenings, after school, for bedtime. But also we can do visuals for parents. So maybe for some parents that are struggling, we can help them with that as well. There could be that we'll do some budgeting with the family just to see where they are financially. Is there anything that we can help them with to either cut back on? We can signpost them and refer them to
Mhm.
welfare rights because Aberlour are linked with welfare rights as well. We can signpost families to different services to access supports for mental health. Um, you know, team up. We're linked with quite a lot of services throughout Perth and Kinross. So we can refer families on to other services if need be. We'll do activities with the children. We'll do a lot of role modelling for some families that require
Mhm.
role modelling for the parents, just again to build up their confidence as well. Um, and then we would set up activities, throughout the summer, Easter, Christmas, so that everybody can join in, like the young people and their families as well, just to have that quality time together.
Yeah. I guess we talked about budgeting and you're saying there about activities and things. The cost of living crisis is really impacting everybody, but how do you see that impacting the families that your service support?
It is really affecting the families that we're supporting. Some of the families, or the majority of the families that have been referred into the service, are already on low incomes.
Mm.
The food parcels that we're providing to these families at present, there has been quite an increase of food parcels being delivered out to these families just to ensure that they have enough food. And a lot of families, when talking to them, they're really, really worried about how they're going to make ends meet. They don't know if they're going to be able to feed their children, if they're going to be able to put their, the heating on. They're trying to make as many cutbacks as possible and still feel that they don't have enough, to live on. And with this, I mean, I suppose this is impacting on not just the children's mental health, but also on the parents, on their mental health, because they're really getting stressed, they're really anxious and really worried. And that has a long lasting effect.
Yeah. And how do you see that affecting children, like with their mental health or anything? Like we were talking about activities, like they're not families not being able to do activities. Like what do you mean by that,
They're
and how does
not,
that impact?
yeah, sorry. So some of these young children, they're not going to be able to experience maybe the same opportunities as some of their peers. So maybe for some families that there's maybe two parents in a family and those parents are working, might have slightly more of an income than some of the families. So therefore, some of the families that we have within the service, they're not going to experience being able to have like a day trip away somewhere or just to even go to like an after school activity. or attend maybe a friend's birthday party, you know, that maybe because the parents don't have the income to be able to provide them with maybe some of the resources that they would need.
Yeah, and I guess with Christmas coming up as well, how do you see that affecting families, like the pressure or the guilt even?
Yeah, yeah, and I think the biggest risk here for a lot of families as well is that potentially parents will be really worried and anxious and stressed about not being able to provide their children with a Christmas gift. And for a lot of these families, they may potentially be reaching out and trying to access funds or loans from different sources. And then that's going to have a knock-on effect, you know, moving forward for their finances, their budgeting. So yeah, I suppose Christmas is going to be a really worrying time for these families.
Yeah, and I guess how are is Aberlour helping there? Is there any way that Aberlour have been able to help financially with families?
Yeah, in the past, Aberlour have been able to help because we do have the Aberlour Urgent Assistance Fund, but that's unfortunately at the moment that is closed, and that's just due to lack of funding. Because I mean, the fund has been utilised, you know, really well to provide families in the past with essential items such as like bedding, you know, duvets, pajamas, things like that, just to keep these children warm, comfortable, and to make sure that their basic needs are being met.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's sad that it is closed just now, and it is something that we're working on. So especially, I guess we plug for the next week's session if anyone wants to watch and find out how, as a marketing and fundraising team, how we're helping him to try and boost the funds for the Urgent Assistance Fund, then please come and watch that next week with Dawn and Sarah. But it is sad that the Urgent Assistance Fund is closed to new applications just now, and it is such a vital lifeline to a lot of families just to provide that bit of relief. And like you say, it's essentials that we're buying. It's not it's things that people need every single day to survive. It's not big fancy things. So
definitely, Corinne. I mean, it is such a lifeline for some of these families. And like what you're saying, it's not luxuries that we're providing to these families, it's the basics.
yeah. So I guess if we'll talk about you for a little while, because I guess we've talked about the service and things, but what how did you get into your role, or what pushed you into doing what you do just now?
Well, I had been to college and university, and when I graduated, I don't know, I kind of ended up working for an energy company for a short period. Well, I'm saying a short period was only ever meant to be for a short period. However, I ended up being there for about 12 years, and then I
Wow.
just thought, I need to take the plunge now. It's now or never. And it was actually my friend who worked for Aberlour Sustain Service up in the Highlands
Oh,
that
wow.
had contacted me and said that, you know, this service was going to be created in Perth and that this would be the perfect job for me. So when I seen that, kept my eye out for the job coming up, and I applied for the post and was successful. And then from there on, I was a support practitioner and then progressed to lead practitioner, and then more recently had been promoted to assistant service manager.
It's great. Isn't that quite a short period of time then, really, if you think about it?
Yeah, in a very short period of time.
So what made you want to get into this kind of role instead of staying in your energy? What was it made you want to work with people?
Just really passionate about really wanting to help children and families. Um, yeah, just to, you know, see people making good progress and
Yeah.
keeping families together.
Great. And I guess that's something we always talk about is important to keep families together. So I guess why is it important for families to stay together?
I think it's really important that families can stay together, you know, where it's safe to do so. I think it is really, you know, to have that attachment, you know, just to have the trust there, the positive relationships. You know, having like positive role modeling, you know, so that these young people can, you know, get advice and guidance. And because I mean, these little children are our future, you know, so it's really important that these children are getting equipped, you know, the best that they can be equipped with moving forward for them.
Yeah, no, that's true. And as Sally Ann always says, no one has a child wanting them to fail. Everyone wants to have a child for them to succeed and achieve their potential. And
Definitely,
yeah, so really
definitely.
true. So what's been your proudest moment in your Aberlour career so far?
Oh, I've had quite a few, but I think
Good.
for me personally, I think all the support that I've had from my colleagues and my management team, just helping me, supporting me, building my confidence, and then obviously that leading to becoming a lead practitioner, and then to be recognised for the work that I had been doing for the service, and being promoted to assistant service manager. I mean, that's been a huge achievement for myself. So I'm really, really proud.
Yeah.
But
And
also,
you're a winning star in the marketing team. You were in our last fundraising campaign as well. You were in the film and everything. So
yeah, I know. I just and just trying new things and new challenges, new experiences has been really, really good. I'm really enjoying that. But also I'm really proud when I see families, you know, that they've made the effective change of being able to sustain it. You know, they've stayed together as a family unit, and you know, they're just flourishing. You know, it's just so rewarding. It just makes you smile and makes you happy. And not every day is the same. Every day is different, and there's always learning. You know, so it's
yeah, no, I
really
think
good.
you and I went to see a family recently you supported that we'd finished working with, and for me it was just a joy to see that, because obviously you'd been with them from the beginning when things we needed to step in and help. When I saw this beautiful, happy family who were who were a joy to be around, but you knew how much hard work had gone into that from their point of view to get it there, and
Yeah,
that's nice to be able to see them.
and I think it's really important as well, is just being yourself when you're out there supporting the families, you know, and just letting them know that you're there, that, you know, when the support starts, it's like a journey, but it's not just a journey for them, it's a journey for us, because we're on that journey with them from the start to the end. And it's just having the good relationship, you know, building up that good relationship from the beginning, I think is really, really crucial, you know, for positive support.
Yeah. So if anyone's watching this, you suddenly inspired them to apply for a job with Aberlour, what would you say to them?
Definitely apply. Definitely apply. I mean, Aberlour, it's a fantastic place to work. You know, lots of learning all the time, ongoing training, and lots of opportunity, and just being able to make effective change, you know, and to see these family flourish, and it just makes you smile every day, and it's really a rewarding job.
Right. So is there anything that the local community can do to help your service? I don't know, do you have volunteers and things involved with you?
We do have a couple of volunteers that have been involved in the service. So that is really good. So sometimes what will happen is, if we go support with families, we would then, you know, obviously have a discussion prior with parents and ask them to feel that a befriender or like a volunteer would be beneficial for them, just so that, you know, they have somebody for themselves. And that could be for like 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, up to a year, just whatever they feel is required. And that's been quite a success with some families, you know, when we've kind of close support, just to know that the family's still got that ongoing support there. I mean, that can be done once a week, or it could be done fortnightly or monthly. And it's often nice just to know that the parents actually have somebody there for themselves. Um, we are in Perth, we are looking at doing more group work. So a lot of our, well, we've got a couple of volunteers. So they've came to us with various skills. You know, for like example, candle making, jewellery making, art therapy, things like that. So we're really keen if we can get some groups up and running, get some of the young people and their parents to attend, and for the volunteers to be involved, because I think these are the kind of opportunities that some of these young children would really benefit from.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess it's something that their parents maybe can't take them to do, and it means
Yeah.
then they get to meet. Do they get to meet then other children in the
Yeah, you
area?
get to meet other children within the service, within the area. So yeah, really be beneficial for them. Like what you were saying, it's giving the children opportunities to meet other people, also for parents as well, just to let them know that, you know, they're not alone, that you know, there is other families that are maybe in similar situations. Yeah, and it's just like, you know, a safe space. Just come down, have some fun when we've got these groups up and running, and just to enhance their social skills and giving them the opportunities maybe to access activities that they might potentially not be able to do.
Yeah. So if anyone is looking out for kind of volunteer role in your area, then definitely look on our website. The volunteer section's all been done up and all brand spanking new. So have a look there and you'll be able to find the roles in your area, which would be great. And you can be working with Wendy before you know it. Well, thank you so much, Wendy. It was really lovely to talk to you today. Is there anything else that you would want anyone watching to know about your service or the people, the families that you work with?
I would just say, just be mindful. You know, we're not always aware that, you know, some of these children are living in poverty. You know, maybe the parents are really worried, anxious, and stressed. Maybe just check on your neighbours, make sure that they're okay, and just in general, be kind, because we actually don't know from, you know, maybe what your next door neighbour's experiencing, or the lady across the road's experiencing, or these children. We don't actually know what's sometimes going on behind closed doors for a lot of these families. So just really be kind to each other.
Yeah, I think that's not a truer thing's been spoken, Wendy. That is so kind, because you never know what someone else is going through. Everyone's fighting their own battles, aren't they? So
Yeah,
speak.
definitely.
No, thank you,
Kind.
thank you. So as I said already, I've had my wee plug earlier on. Our next live stream with me will be next Thursday at 1 o'clock with our assistant director Dawn and our head of marketing and comms Sarah, and they're going to give you a bit of an insight into the new fundraising campaign, a bit of behind the scenes, what we've done and why we've done it. But on Wednesday will be the Aberlour Staff and Volunteer Conference, which will be in person for the first time in years, so we're all very excited. But we will be joined by Darren McGarvey, so he's an author and a musician. He's quite well known, and he'll be joining our team to give us a talk and inspire us. And we're going to be live streaming that so that all of our followers can watch that. So make sure you follow our channel and keep up to date. But for now, from Wendy and I, thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.